Hello friends, welcome back. My name is Megan and I'm going to be doing a check-in, Twin Flame Collective check-in today. And I just want to let you know, I have already seen some orbs when I was testing and getting the camera set up. I've already seen some orbs, so we do have some beautiful presence with us, some beautiful beings and guides with us at this time. What did I want to say? Yes, let me get this out of the way, the housekeeping, if you will. If you like this video and it resonates, please share with your friends. That really helps this channel grow. And it's such a joy getting to be here and to connect with you guys. So the more that we can grow it, the more that I can give my presence and attention to it. So, and if you're enjoying the videos, please subscribe. I'm so excited to see so many new subscribers because this has been such a work of love. So glad you guys are here. Also, if anybody would like to book personal readings, I do offer those. They don't just have to be around Twin Flame Collective, but they can. And that you can find all that information in the description box below, directly to my website where you can book. Or if you have questions, you can email me. I also offer Akashic Records readings as well as coaching. So yeah, just wanted to get all that out of the way. And then the other thing I wanted to say, yeah, so I've been really, my desire today was to just do a read where I was off camera. I think there's some energies I'm going to talk about in the collective that I've really been feeling, especially after this new moon that just happened yesterday. So we're still feeling that and the sensitivity of a Pisces moon and new moon, and kind of feeling the vulnerability and the emotional piece of that, because there's always an exaltation of any energy. So whether that's the moon, whether that's Pisces, whether that's a trait, quality, there's always an exaltation. And then there's always the flip side of that, that's kind of the shadow aspect of it, if you will. So I do feel specifically for the divine feminines that they're kind of in the shadow aspects of this moon. And if you're not there, amazing. Disregard. But if you are there, just know you are not alone. And that's definitely something I'm tapped into and I'm feeling. And I've been feeling some inner child healing coming up. But the call for that, the collective right now, in the sense of why is this coming up? We feel so close. There's been such positive movement. All the Pisces placements feels so positive and like just loving, and just there's this like energy in the air. Well, there's this last ringing out. That's kind of the image that they've given me, is like it's we've been through all of these lessons and all of these experiences and all of this pain. It's like a ringing out. Like, is there any last bit of codependency? Is there any last part of ourselves that we're not willing to love, that we're not willing to look at, that we're not willing to hold and cherish? And as we continue to shine lights on the parts of ourselves that maybe have been covered in cobwebs or have been neglected, and we haven't been fully offering our presence or love to those places, it's only then that we can accept and receive the love and the blessings and all the gifts that the universe has in store that's trying to find its way to us. So reparenting is a big theme that I've been feeling with this moon. And the whole reason I just started going into the energies. But all that being said, I kind of wanted to hide today. I kind of just wanted to do a nice little read for you guys off camera, just channel the messages directly and not share my personal experience and store kind of where I'm at. But I do know that that is something that is really important. It's really important to share and to give voice to truth and to the personal experience, because the personal experience is oftentimes the collective experience, and there's a sense of connection in that. And so it's important to me to be as vulnerable and transparent as I can on here and to share what's really coming up in my journey. And hopefully that is hopefully that brings us closer together as a community of beautiful twin flames, because really the community is one of the best gifts of this whole journey once we find each other, right? Because there's a whole long part of the journey where we feel lost in translation and not connecting with others. So I wanted to honor where I'm at, and I'm definitely in this place of the feelings that this moon is bringing up is a lot. It just, like, the image I keep getting, it's like a wringing out any last bit of pain, doubt, fear, neglect of self. I'm gonna drink coffee. I always wait till it gets cold. So there's this idea around us needing to fully feel whatever's coming up, because I don't know if everyone's been feeling this way, but I've personally been riding this wave of just pure unfiltered joy for the past week, feeling the shifts, feeling into the collective, knowing something good's coming, just really feeling it, feeling really good, and recognizing that there was actually a lot of expectation that I was holding around this new moon in Pisces, around breakthroughs, around communication, around expressions of love. And when that didn't show up in the way that I was expecting it to or wanting it to, it was this opportunity for me to kind of wring out what else have I not been willing to look at, and not to say neglect the joy. Definitely ride the waves of the joy when you're in it, but just know that on this journey there's going to be these ebbs and flows in that. So this is a place that we're all kind of in. And I know I have been seeing other readers talking about sort of some dark nights of the soul coming up for the divine feminines right now. This theme of reparenting keeps coming up, giving yourself the love that you so desperately want to give to your twin. It's not until you're fully giving that to you that they can give, that they can reciprocate, that they can give that back. And it's all things we know, and it's so easy to say it all. It's so easy to say these words, love yourself, put it on you, like, give yourself that. But it's so different in the practice of it and in the execution. And, when we get into the mind and we get into the ego and the 3D circumstances and what we're seeing around us and the world, right? The world at large, you can't not see the distortion. I don't think we can go a day, even if you're a person that does not watch TV, that does not watch the news, that's very disconnected from the matrix, as we'll call it, even if you're a person like that, I guess if you're a recluse in the mountains, which no judgment on that. That sounds amazing most of the time to me. Most of the time, that's actually what I want. But unless you're somebody who is really isolated, you're not engaging with the world around you, people around you at all, I feel like we can't go a day without being confronted by this distortion. The expectation, the fears, the worries. And so that stuff can really grab a hold of us as very sensitive, empathic beings, as open beings. That can really grab a hold of us. And if we're not doing the proper care, that can get into our system. And then we can start to project that and apply that to our own journey with our twin flame and on, just this. Because the old modes of relationship are not appropriate here. They're just not. So they're really going to get us stuck. So yeah, themes of reparenting, themes of releasing expectation, releasing, this desire to control. And it gets confusing because if we're manifesting and we're calling something to us and we're claiming it, and then we're like, but it's not showing up, chances are the reason is because there's an expectation attached. So there's a difference between manifesting from a place of wholeness, and it's really like ejecting all your energy from others, from your twin, even from anybody, and putting all that into yourself. And that's that wholeness that you then have where things can come to you. But that's a trap that we can get caught in, is where we think we're in that place, but really what we're doing is we're like fishing. That's the image I get, is like we're like throwing hooks out and we're like, yeah, I'm whole, and I'm just like reeling this in. And then when it comes up empty, you're like, what? And it's so upsetting. And the reason it can be really upsetting is because you were actually doing work to go and get it. you were like fishing and then like, you know, taking all this time to kind of reel it in. And that's still in the doing, that's still in the mind, that's still in the ego. When Spirit is asking us, especially as divine feminines, to be in the being, that's all we can do, is just be in the being, be in our goddess, empress, divine feminine energy. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, okay? You are meant to, and I've seen some little tangent, I've seen some beautiful masculine energies, like men who are divine feminines and have this beautiful way of manifesting and attracting in the world where people and things are just magnetized to them. Okay, because that's the idea. That's the energies we're talking about when we talk about divine feminine and divine masculine. It's really not a gender thing. And we can see it beautifully in men and women when they have that energy. A lot of artists that we see kind of like on the main, what am I trying to say? That we see out in the public eye, a lot of artists are the divine feminine. So not to say you have to be a divine feminine to be an artist by any means, but there's a lot of examples of men. I don't know why I did quotations for men. You guys, this Pisces moon, I'm telling you. But there's a lot of men who really beautifully embody this divine feminine by being able to just attract and magnetize things to them without the work and the doing and the pushing and the pulling and the fishing. Okay. Yeah, hopefully we kind of channeled, I was able to channel that message accurately, because that's really what I'm feeling. And then the masculines, on the other hand, we're going to get into them, but the masculines, on the other hand, are really stepping into their power right now. Really stepping into the Emperor energy, getting their worth back, getting their and they're not, I don't feel that they're quite making, none of the decisions that they're making right now are necessarily quite on the path. And what I mean by that is, it's not like they're making decisions where they're like, okay, I'm going to go call my divine feminine and confess my love. I'm going to tell someone in my life how I'm really feeling. I'm going to go meet with a friend that I haven't seen in a while, and I'm going to take my mask off and I'm just going to be seen and reveal myself. I don't necessarily think they're making those decisions, right? But what is happening is they are aware. They're very aware of where in their life they are having a mask on, where in their life they're giving their power away, where in their life they're not quite being authentic. They're seeing it all now, especially with this Pisces influence and moon. They're seeing the holes and the cracks in the facade. And they're because of that new insight, they're like, okay, I'm pulling this back in. I'm reeling this back in. I'm taking my power away. I'm stepping into my sovereignty. So the intention is really, they're at the beginning. I mean, I don't want to say they're at the beginning, but they're at this point in their ascension process where they're really taking care of their temple, meaning their body, their physical body. They're really taking care of themselves and noticing what doesn't fit. And if it doesn't fit, I don't necessarily, some may be taking active actions to remove themselves from it, but more often I feel what they're doing is they are becoming aware of it and pulling their energy back from it. Okay, which is a powerful step, because it always starts within. It always starts with the energy before the sort of physical action can follow. It has to come within. So they're at that within place, and that's beautiful. And you're going to feel that in their energy field. You're going to feel that in your connection to them, that they're really stepping into this place and taking care of themselves. So the action will follow. But more than anything, as I know I'm talking to mostly divine feminines, it's really about us. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. It's really about us, as I was saying, meaning divine feminines, taking our power back and going within, and really not concerning ourselves with their journey, where they're at, what they're doing in any way. If they're inviting us on that journey, that's another thing. And then we can, from a place of empowerment, we can then decide how we want to show up for them. So I want to try something a little bit differently. I have a lot of ideas of things that I want to ask the cards, but I also know that I talked quite a bit. So, because I just wanted to tune in with those energies for everybody. So let me think where I want to start, because there's some real questions. Okay, I want to do some oracle cards of like the energy of the week, because I did grab this deck first. So I'll go here. I'd like to know, because it is Sunday, day after the full moon, or excuse me, the new moon. So it's the 14th. And I'd like to know where we're at in the energies for this week, what we can see happening for this week. Okay. Wow. Okay. And this is really beautiful energy. Bottom of the deck, we have honor the process. I'm going to see if I can switch this. Let's see. Yeah, we might be able to get a little bit more details on the cards if I do that light. So we'll stick it with that. Okay, I have very little workspace today because I have all these waters. All these liquids. Okay, so honor the process. And I think that's a really beautiful honor is a word that's popping out to me, because we also have it here. Honor the cycles. And I really feel that the energies I was tapping into at the beginning of this that I was speaking to is really about this. We're going to have these highs and we're going to feel really good. And then we're also going to have these lows, and we're going to have to wring ourselves out and process whatever's coming up. So that's always going to be a part of this journey, the spiritual path, right? That's always going to be a part of it. And it looks like this week we're really being asked to trust in our process, to trust in the cycles, what it's bringing us, and to know that the union is coming. We have 22, commit. So committing our everything to ourselves, really stepping into this place of knowing and trust from an empowered place. Yeah, I'm going to get some tarot on it. And there's another card here that I will tap into in just a second. So Spirit, tell me about this honor the cycles. Okay. Yeah, so we have some beautiful sort of feminine energy that came up to clarify this honor the cycles. We have the Queen of Cups and we have Temperance. So I'm hearing honor the heart space. Honor what's in your heart. Honor what you're feeling. And this is for both twins, because I was doing the union energies for the week. So Temperance is here to kind of balance. It's a major arcana. So it's a strong energy that we have at our disposal that we can use to empower us when we need it. So really honoring ourselves. There we go with that theme. When we can step into that mothering energy with this Queen of Cups, when we can step into really feeling our feelings, allowing them, honoring them, then we can step into this forward momentum and this more masculine energy of truth, divinity, allowing God to move through us in our actions, in our day-to-day, and what we're doing. This is the Knight of Swords. So there's always truth with this card. There's new beginnings, there's fresh starts, there's fast-moving energy. He's a flying white horse. Is he a unicorn? I don't believe so. That's okay. He could be a unicorn if we want him to be. So this is a fast-moving energy, and these other energies are kind of the tempering. They're kind of the balancing, the harmonizing. So we're being asked to really honor where we are this week, and I've said that a couple times, but let me see if there's any other way that wants to be channeled. Yeah, it's an appreciation. It's an appreciation when it's coming from a place of absolute power, sovereignty, and knowing that this is not forever. This is temporary. Every stop on this journey is temporary. Every stop, because you're always changing, you're always evolving, you're always growing. You're not actually, it's impossible to get stuck and stagnant if you are present to your own work and your own journey. If you're staying present and you're working with spirit, you cannot get stagnant, you cannot get stuck. So we do not need to be worried about whatever cycle or process we may be feeling this week. If there is some darkness, if there is some shadow that wants to poke its head to come out, we don't need to be worried that's going to stop us from this Knight of Swords energy, from this moving forward to this new beginning in divine truth. We don't need to concern ourselves with that. And that's actually the only thing that can get us stagnant, is concerning ourselves with the outcome and the expectation. So honor your inner emotional world, both twins, right? Both twins are really being asked to feel their hearts, to feel the heart space, okay? It's not always easy for either of us, really. It's not. I mean, I know that typically that's like more of a divine feminine trait, but it's not. Wow. Yeah. It doesn't always, it's hard to keep your heart open. It's really hard to keep your heart open. But it's so rewarding. It's ridiculously rewarding. So to clarify, for our commit card, our beautiful union energy of the 22, we also get a 2. We get the 2 of Pentacles. So I feel that this week we are balancing all of our inner masculine and feminine energies, both twins, working to balance and harmonize. And this feeling of being out of balance, this feeling of being kind of like we're juggling and we're struggling and it's just challenging to like get there, is leaving, if we so choose. We're also getting the Knight of Swords. So with the Knight of Swords, there is perhaps some worry and anxiety that could be coming up. And always with this worry and anxiety and this doubt, the best way to look at it, the best way to work with it, is to be able to acknowledge, okay, this is my mind. I am not my mind. The 3D is not the truth. The 3D is actually the illusion. And to just, I feel that this week, in the honoring our process, in the bottom of the deck, it's really going to be around this ringing out process. So what little last pieces of fear or doubt need to be processed, purged, and let go to come into balance before we can have our union, okay? So what last pieces for both twins, what things are getting in our way? And that's actually a question I am going to ask Tarot. I want to know what's getting in the way for both divine masculine and divine feminine of their own stuff, not like how we're reacting to each other, but how are we getting in the way? If there's any blocks, I want to know. So that's the next thing we're going to ask. We're also getting the 7 of Pentacles. So we're planting beautiful new seeds. We are, okay, do not worry. Do not fear that you are off course, that it's not happening, that it's not coming. Spirit has been hearing a lot of these primal cries from you. These just, where are they? Where is this person? What is going on? And they can feel, like Spirit feels you, your guides, they feel you. There's this pain right now. There is this pain in the collective, and the Pisces really stirs this up for good reason. It's a necessary part of the process. But the seeds have been planted, okay? You've put so much work in. Do not give up now. Do not let go of your beautiful heart. I don't know why that just came through, but it's do not let go of your beautiful heart. Keep your heart open. Keep trusting. Keep in the knowing. The seeds have been planted in the material world because this is Pentacles, okay? Trust and know, and anything that comes up that gets you out of your balance this week, know that it's only to get you deeper and deeper into this commitment. That's the only reason it's coming up. So be grateful for it. Find the appreciation in it. Yeah, we're really honoring the process this week. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Interesting. So this, oh, okay. Tap into primal power. So this is a very powerful energy. This is a Kundalini card. I have been getting the message that the Kundalini, the sacred sexuality, and the sacral energies are really going to be starting to become instigated and fired up this week. as we're slowly moving our way into Aries season, because Aries season is action, fire, power, courageous, just going after it, okay? So this energy, both twins desperately need this energy, right? There needs to be action, there needs to be courage, there needs to be this inner power. And this is what I kind of was touching base with the masculines have been working towards, okay? So the feminines are being asked to step into their own kundalini energy, to allow, and it's they look differently. The masculines energy here is going to move them forward. It's going to move them into action. It's going to move them into standing their ground. We have the Five of Wands. It's going to move them into defending their sovereignty, defending their truth, not letting anybody get in their way any longer, not giving their power away, not second guessing themselves, not being in their mind, because Wands is action, Wands is movement, Wands is inspired divine action, okay? So this is for both twins, but I'm just hearing that message specifically for the divine masculines. And then for the divine feminines, it's about what we were talking about earlier, where it's about your being. It's about standing up to your own demons, your own shadows, the things that try and get you off your path, to doubt yourself, to doubt this connection. You're going to have to be in this place of solid, sturdy ground, being grounded, being rooted. Connection to spirit, connection to above, that's going to help you stay in your lane, to stay on target, versus getting caught up in potential 3D noise of others. And this is also about protecting our energy from others with this being a clarifier to this card. Protect your energy. Like I was saying earlier, we're so open and we're so sensitive, and there's a lot of distortion out there in the world, especially around relationship connections. There's doubt. There's people do not want these, whether they understand it consciously or not. There's a strong consciousness fighting against these twin flame unions, okay? Just be aware of it. Just be aware of it. I don't want any of us to get stuck in the darkness, but be aware of the darkness. There is a strong energy. So you have to, both twins have to be so protective and so aware and tapping into their own power, which comes from spirit. And spirit's going to let them know who to trust and who not to trust. We also getting the Fool. So the Fool has to be, if you're not connected to your power, then you can't take a brave new beginning. You can't step off this cliff, because if you're not connected to source and to divine, then you're going to be in fear around, well, I can't do it because I don't know what's coming. But when you're connected to spirit, when you're connected to God, it doesn't matter that you don't know what's coming, because you know you're protected. You know you're supported. So this connecting to your primal power is going to help us with these new beginnings and stepping out of our comfort zones, getting out of the bubble. We also have the Five of Swords. So connecting to your primal power is going to help you release and transmute this energy of feeling defeated, of feeling alone. Because Five of Swords is a mind space energy, but it also, like, it speaks to kind of like winning the battle, but not having anyone to celebrate with. So it's like it's a self-sabotage. It's an isolation. And both twins are very, very guilty of that and doing that towards each other, where they isolate themselves from the other out of their fears and insecurities and mind space. So connecting to this power is going to release this energy so that you can come together. Okay. A lot of energies coming up this week. Okay, so I'm going to go to tarot now and ask, I want to know kind of what's been coming up. Yeah, so let's start with Divine Feminine. So what has been in the way, Divine Feminine, or Spirit, the Divine Feminines? If anything, what has been blocking the union for the Divine Feminines? Okay, quite a few energies here. Okay, 8 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. The first card that popped out was this Ace of Wands. So what I'm hearing with this is we're waiting, we're like passively waiting for someone else to initiate, for someone else to start this beginning. So whatever it is in our lives that we may be waiting on, because yes, it could be our masculines, yes, it could be something to do with this twin flame journey, but it also could be about your life force energy, your mission work, your power, things you're trying to make happen, whatever you're trying to manifest, whatever's going on in your internal world, external world, divine feminines. There's a block around, and this is going right back to this energy of the primal power, the kundalini, because this is sacral energy. This is that instigation from the core of your being, from your sacral, from your power source, for females from your womb space, for males from your genitalia space. Yeah. So this is a very, very powerful energy, and we've been waiting for someone else or something else. Throat chakra. Whew. So maybe, divine feminines, you have been waiting to speak your truth. You've been waiting for the opportunity. You've been waiting for somebody to give it to you. You've been waiting for it to be handed instead of taking it from this place of power and source. And I don't mean calling your masculine. I don't mean banging on doors, because again, that's not the feminine energy. The feminine energy is power. It's magnetizing. It's calling everything to you, and it just arrives at your door. And I know that sounds like, whoa, how's it even possible? That sounds crazy. But you've probably had experiences in your life of seeing when that happens, when you just magnetize things and people to you. You know it's possible. Wow, something really big with throat chakra, because I have not had this happen in a long time. So someone out there really needs to speak their truth, needs to start speaking their voice and sharing their truth and their divine truth, not their 3D truth, not getting into this, like, because that's the cop-out, that's the easy way to communicate, isn't it? Okay, so the world says in relationships, if this person's not giving enough, if this person's not doing this, well, that's an appropriate reason to be upset. But is that really why you're upset? What is your truth? What is your truth, divine feminine? How do you really feel? What do you really want to say? What's really coming up from your womb space? What's really coming up from that sacral chakra, from the fires of your belly? What is actually true? And that's what needs to be spoken. That's what needs to be released. And if you don't have anyone to speak it to yet, speak it out loud to spirit. Talk to your guides. Work with the throat chakra, I'm hearing. Chanting, breath work, singing, talking out loud to yourself. These are going to be some powerful, powerful ways to clear this throat chakra that I'm really feeling. It's coming up around this power, this inner power. And that is something that, as the twins, we both are here to clear. Both twins have to work through this throat chakra energy. And we can't come back into union until we've really cleared that fear of being heard, of saying what we need to say. So this is something, this creation energy is a little bit blocked, and I don't want to say blocked. No, I don't want to, but this is kind of something we're going to be working towards. This is something we're going to be working towards releasing so that we can move forward for the divine feminines. We also have 2 of Pentacles again, yeah? So balancing, harmonizing our inner masculine, inner feminine for divine feminines. So it's so funny, the mirroring energy I'm actually seeing, because I pulled for divine feminines, right? And all these cards are some strong cards we've been getting for the masculines as well. But I think that's because we really have started to merge, where we are one. We are one, we've been one. There's no question about that, but it's really coming online where we're one. Because we're getting the King of Cups as well. And this speaks to being very aware of our feelings and being in this like exalted space of our emotional power, emotional awareness, emotional maturity, but not quite being willing to share it. So back to this, not quite being willing to speak it. So in this position of what's coming up in our what's coming up that's it's still maybe in resistance, that needs some transmuting, this King of Cups. So Divine Feminines, you are very aware of how you feel. You are very aware of your emotional heart space. You're very aware. And that awareness is beautiful, and it's such a gift to be able to have that. There's so many times on this journey where I'm like, oh, I wish I was the Divine Masculine. But then I'm like, no, I don't. Because I love getting this connection with spirit. I love being conscious about all of this. I love being able to see. So this is a gift. And the only way that this can be, and it's I don't know what the word is, exaltation. What's the opposite of it? If you know, tell me in the comments. Exaltation and then I don't know, whatever that word is. But so the shadow, the negative polarity of this card can really be in holding it, hoarding the emotions, because I feel that so many of the Divine Feminines are just expecting their masculines to come in with this Knight of Cups and to just be like, here you go, here's the flowers, you're my queen, I love you, like, let's be together. And then, but the feminines are like, you know, they're like this. And that's what society tells us. That is a conditioning. That's like a very limited way of looking at how to feminine energies and masculine energies relate. And we're being asked to like cut all of that, release all of that. So if you're wanting this because the Knight of Cups is coming up as a resistance. So if you're wanting this from your masculine, you have to be this. Sharing your heart, opening your heart, keeping it open, allowing the expression to flow. Being your own knight in shining armor is what I'm hearing. Giving yourself this cup of love and appreciation and acknowledgement. Give yourself compliments. Write yourself a poem. You know, like really just, spirit is like, feminines, I'm ready to see this come online. I'm ready to see you just adore yourself. I don't want to say spirit's frustrated, but what was just being channeled was a little bit of like an exasperation. It was it was like some of your guides coming through just being like, ladies and gentlemen, you're fucking amazing. You're amazing. And you know this, and you just want to give that away to someone else. And not that they don't deserve it, and not that you're not designed to give this beautiful love and gifts to someone else, but not until you've given it to yourself. You gotta give it to yourself. And that's going to clear up any of this doubt and confusion and fear with this Two of Swords energy that's coming up. And you see what I mean about these cards? Don't they really resemble a lot of what we get for the Divine Masculines in like what they're working through? They're working through stepping into their power and instigating and creating and moving forward. And the Two of Pentacles, balancing their energies and like not feeling so overwhelmed in the material world, being in this doubt and confusion and like, how do I make a decision? So it's like anything, here's a little exercise. Anything that you have been repeating and telling yourself in your mind around your Divine Masculine that they need to do, that you're like, I just really need them to do this. I can't wait till they do this. They need to figure this out. Reverse it and put it on you. Because I guarantee you, even if it's not obvious, you may have to do some digging, maybe a little journaling. It may not be easy to find, but I guarantee you anything that you're like, why won't they just, maybe they're like addiction, right? What in your life are you giving your power away to? So maybe you don't have an addiction. Maybe you got to dig a little harder. Are you, anytime a deep feeling comes up, you want to tune out, you want to get busy, you want to avoid, you want to escape? I don't know. I'm just giving ideas. So anything in your life. And if you're confused on what these might be, if you're like, oh my God, oh wow, that's blowing my mind. If this is triggering, I hope it's not. But if it is, great, because that means there's work to do. But if you're confused, I'm happy to be a mirror and a sounding board. So if you want to comment, like, I don't really know what it could be, I'm happy to be of assistance in that way. Because sometimes it really just takes another person that's able to hold us in love and sovereignty to be like, okay, you're doing it. There it is right there. Because sometimes we can't see it. I can't see myself, which is why I work with coaches and healers myself, you know, because as much as I can heal and see other people, sometimes it's a lot harder to see ourselves. So anyways, I know this is getting off topic a little bit, but This Two of Swords energy can be cleared. It can be let go of. And the doubt and the confusion and any time that you get into the second guessing, gosh, maybe some of you even still doubt that you're a twin flame. Maybe some of you even still doubt that this is your person. And the only way to release all this is like this energy. And this, good Lord, if you're waiting for this person to commit to you, have you committed to yourself? Have you committed to this journey? Because they can't offer you anything until you've offered it to yourself, because they're just responding to you and your energy. That's part of being the unconscious twin. The conscious twin is you, the divine feminines, and the unconscious twin is the masculine, and they're just responding. I know it seems unfair sometimes, but that's all that's happening. And I apologize if, no, I don't want to apologize, but if this message is seeming a little more harsh than usual, it's just what's coming through. Like, we do have some guides with us. I told you we had some orbs earlier, and some of them are a little impatient maybe, or they're just like, we really need you to get this. So there is that energy, okay? All right, so we're asking the same question for the masculines. Wow. I don't think I can take all of these. Oh, it's so many. Okay. All right, we'll take them because they really do speak to the... Okay. What's standing in the way? We have Princess of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Whew. Divine masculines. Oh. And also, take these messages for your inner masculine, okay? Always, always. Two of Cups. What is needing to kind of be worked through and released? It is a fear of unifying. It's a fear of this commitment. It's a fear of the stepping into relationship. Letting themselves be seen. Letting in another person because of all the pain and the heartache that has brought in the past, of all of the destruction and chaos. And it's painful to keep your heart open, like we've been saying. It's not easy. And when you have this other person sitting in front of you, it's like, especially your divine counterpart who sees you and feels you and knows you, this is really challenging for them. So this is what this avoidance of this is what is still being cleared. But guess what? As we were talking about the divine feminines, there's a lack of commitment with the divine feminine. So once you commit, divine feminines, they're going to commit. And also, oh, there was just a message that wanted to come through. Yeah, so, okay. So if you have a divine masculine who is, you feel like they're avoiding commitment, or they're avoiding this with you, and that's kind of one of their biggest fears, maybe that's a pattern that you saw in your relationship when you were together, then you, my loves, have a fear of commitment. Whether you're like, what? No, I don't. You do. Your inner masculine is afraid of being held down, tied down, captured. Your inner masculine is afraid of this commitment. And so usually what happens within us is, and if you're familiar with attachment styles, the feminine within us is more that anxious attachment, the runner, the chaser. And the masculine within us is that avoidant attachment, who is the runner. So that's why our twin is literally just mirroring that. And our twin actually has a chaser within them. They have an anxious attachment style within them, because if you do, so do they. And so that's why the roles can reverse, and that's why you can flip. But I just want to say, if you have felt like you've been really stuck in this pattern with them, where they have really been in this avoidance of the commitment, know that something within you, your inner masculine, has a fear of being stuck with someone, of being in something that feels like you don't have your autonomy, your freedom, your sovereignty. Like you're afraid of giving your freedom away. There might be something in there, okay? There definitely is. And just know, if you're in that space, if they're in that space, there's something within you. We also have the sun. So I feel this is around deservingness, worthiness of happiness, worthiness of this is like fear of success. So feeling like they don't necessarily deserve what's being offered, that they don't necessarily deserve this beautiful gift from God, because how could they? How could they have this? Again, your inner masculine has some pain around this. We also got the Six of Wands in reverse. So the masculines have felt a lot of loss and a lot of not being successful, not having things work out, a lot of pain, a lot of endings, a lot of things that just have like fallen flat in their face. I've heard this message channeled from them is like, everything I touch turns into shit. Everything I touch. So they have avoided this, and they've avoided you because they don't want this to turn into shit. And it's almost better holding this in this beautiful light and this beautiful untangible, am I saying that word right? Untouchable fantasy than it is in being in the real union and commitment with you, because they're afraid that it's going to go wrong, that they're going to fuck it up. So this energy is really strong from them of like, yeah, I've gotten that one channeled before too, is like, it's just easier holding you in this beautiful light and seeing that you guys seeing all this magic and this beauty, but like if they actually step into this, if they actually go into it, they're like, it's not gonna work. And they think it's gonna be, it's them, you know, they think it's them. It's not like they think you're gonna fuck it up. They think they're almost certain that they're gonna fuck it up, which is why this building and this material world of this new beginning is one of their blocks. It's one of their fears, is like grounding this, because the amount of pain that they would feel from really losing you, like really giving it their all and going in and being in this place, they don't think they could overcome that. And whether this is conscious for them or not, it's real. Like they believe, because I'm not going to give any sort of credence to these fears, but they believe it would wreck them. It would ruin them. So these are, I mean, this is honestly, my heart hurts, to be honest with you, with this energy right now for the divine masculines. And again, feminines, look within. Where is this pain within you? Because it's there, my loves. It's in there. Oh, okay. I want to get off that energy. Cold coffee. It's not as good. Okay. Knight of Swords. Yeah. So this one is that fast-paced, fast-moving, action-oriented instigation, making things happen with divine truth. So it's a fear of moving forward with their truth, because they've been living out of their truth for so long and been creating from their mind, from their ego. So with all this new truth that's come online for them, there's a real great fear and hesitancy around, how do I actually move from my truth? How do I do this? So this is something that Spirit has been supporting them with, and they've been working through. Oh, my little cutie dog. He always chooses these videos to go eat and drink, and otherwise he's sleeping like all day long. Could not get the dog to move. Doesn't even want to go outside, right? And then we do these readings and he's like, oh, I love him so much. Okay, Knight of Swords. Yeah, so they're working through that, and guess what's going to really help them with that? As you both step into this, as you both get into this, woo! This is such, like, after these cards and holding these cards, oh, it feels so much better, because this is the answer. This is all we got to do. That's all we have to do, okay? Because we're so close. All right, so here's some darker, well, whatever, we'll go into it. Okay, we have Princess of Cups. So this is the connection to Spirit. This is the connection to the signs. This is the connection to their heart space. This is being in that page energy where they don't quite feel like experts. Yeah, that's what this is they don't quite feel like experts, and you and your emotional space, Divine Feminines, is almost intimidating to them because they're still feeling this page energy. But what they don't quite know yet, what they're having to work through and release this week, is that it's not about them getting into their emotional maturity and King of Cups and just like solid, like I've got all my shit together, I'm King of Pentacles, I'm King of Swords, I'm King of Cups, I'm King of Wands. Like, it's not about that before they can come to you and share. It's about sharing this, and through that intimacy, through that vulnerability with you, that's what's going to release them from this prison and this cage that their heart has been in, where they haven't been able to reach their full emotional maturity. So that's what has to happen. That's the step they got to take. And they are working through this. Like, this has been a big theme. And also the messages, they're coming through for them. They're getting these messages, but they're just a little, like, they don't want to trust them, or they want to ignore them. It's easier to ignore. It's easier to escape. So where in your life, Divine Feminines, is Spirit telling you that this union is yours, that this is coming, that this is your path, that you deserve this, but you're not listening? Where are you doubting Spirit? Where are you doubting yourself? Yep. It's always the answer. Okay, we have Seven of Swords. So this is around this self-deception, deceit, not being honest. So there's definitely, and I feel like this is in their consciousness, right? So their higher self, their subconscious, their astral self, like they know the truth, they know what's going on, but there's still this like it's a ringing out, because this has been a big theme for the Divine Masculines. It's this ringing out of, where in my life am I still kind of being dishonest? Where am I still hiding who I truly am? Okay, where am I? Self-deception and self-sabotage, really. It's like, where am I self-sabotaging myself? Where am I giving my energy and power away? And again, let's just hold these cards for a second to feel better. Just tapping into this bad boy, or this energy. Tapping into this and committing to themselves. That's what they got to do. Knight of Pentacles. So there's a little bit of a resistance around moving into the night energy in the material world. Again, the new beginning. So we're getting a lot of messages of, there's this kind of fear around the relationship, their freedom, because they're not quite seeing yet that this relationship is not going to take their freedom away. This relationship is going to give them all the freedom and sovereignty. Like, it's going to empower them, like, into that space, into that higher exaltation. But they have never had that. Just like you've probably never had that, Divine Feminine. You've probably never been in a relationship that gave you more freedom, more sovereignty, more truth, more knowing. And that's just something that Spirit's really going to have to be working with them on, and sending them these messages of like, no, it's possible, and it's going to happen. Last energy, and it is a 10, so they're completing the cycle, the 10 of Swords. So this has been I feel like these swords energies have been really big themes for these masculines, and it's also for you too, Divine Feminine. So where have you been afraid of people hurting you? Where have you been afraid of just like, the 10 of Swords energy is like, I can't succeed. Like, I'm going to be hurt. People are going to hurt me. It's better to just stay here. Better to keep myself away, because this has always happened to me. And so they are completing and finally letting that go. And it's like, it's an offering. It's an offering to Spirit. It's a surrender. This card is all about surrender. It's all about, okay, it's been over and over again. It's been so much. There's nothing else I can do. Just okay, I give up. And we almost are getting to that. Yeah, that is what I feel, especially in the collective for the Divine Feminines. It's like I give up. The controlling, the expectation, the attachment, the trying, the give, the over-giving, the neglecting of myself, it's not working. So I give up. And I know that feels tough, but it's always the darkest right before the dawn. So right before it comes is when it's the darkest, okay? And that is where the masculines are, okay? Yeah, I don't feel like there's any messages else with this, because I feel like this energy is pretty clear. We've been seeing it, we've been working with it. And again, please, these are all invitations to go inward for yourself, okay? All right, I'm going to end it there because, of course, it went long. There's so many more questions I want to ask, but I'll be back soon and do another video for more energies this week. I hope this was helpful. I hope it resonated. Sending you all so much love, and I look forward to seeing you in a personal read soon if that feels like something your soul would like to do. Otherwise, I will see you guys soon. Bye.